Good morning. It's Saturday, March 23rd, 2024, and it's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up with your host, John Newquist. And we had kind of an active week, not a lot of news, but let's take a look at some of the stories that happened this week and start out with Google. Apple surprisingly caught a lot of people off guard by saying the Gemini AI engine will be in its phone. I have the Pixel phone, and the Gemini app is there, so you can have AI in your hand, which is kind of nice, unlike ChatGPT. But you can see the jump in Google. It's up there, not up at the high, but it's a nice slow uptrend. I like the nice slope like this, and that's good. Nice steady 200-day moving average, pretty good area, and pretty solid. Taiwan Semiconductor is going to benefit. They're doing a lot of work with NVDA's next generation platform for the chips, and revenue's growing 50% annually. 50% annually. So, the market always lags on Taiwan Semiconductor, but it's, got up here, hit a high, then came back. It's retracing. Hopefully, it'll build a base a little bit, but we'll see. I think Taiwan, definitely a stock you want to hold because companies are using them to build their chips. In the indicators, crude is still above 80, natural gas still below 2, and that's good. Gold's holding it hard at $2,100, and copper's barely holding the $4 level. But if you like chocolate like I do, cocoa at a high. Look at this parabolic move up. People can't find the cocoa beans fast enough. The price is going to get insanely high. Candy's going to sit there and be, a record high in the store. So when you pay $3 for a medium bar, that's going to be normal because the chocolate is very short supply right now. And it'll, as anything else, the crops will be better next year. More crops, more cocoa, and we'll see a decline. So nothing moves smoothly in commodities. Backwards here. All right, let's take a look at the averages. Wow, records. Record S&P, record Nasdaq, record Dow. Look at this stuff. This is crazy. There was a famous person on CNBC said the market's going to crash. It's going to go down 25%. We're setting records. And I can imagine people saying, when is it going to crash? When am I going to be able to buy lower? Maybe not. We don't know. When it wants to crash, that's when we don't expect it, and then it's painful. But it's just not the U.S. Germany, Japan, the DAX, which is in Germany, is at a record high. Look at this chart. What a nice chart, and it's doing well. So it's a pretty good stock market rally overall. And ExxonMobil's, well, oil's going up. A lot of people are looking at it. There are a lot of oil bulls, and as somebody always looks at is when the moving averages crosses the 280, that's 200-day moving average, that's a positive sign. So we're going to see oil as Ukraine keeps on targeting the Russian refineries. Russia will lose capacity, and that will drive prices up for India and China, who've been buying the Russian oil, which means if they want to grow, they're going to have to buy in the open market, which is going to raise the prices. So $100 oil is not too far-fetched this summer. And again, NVIDIA, when they did the conference this year, talking about all the things that they do, data market share is higher than any other chip company. What chips are in the data centers, and that's good because that means renewable. And remember, they got the chip plus the software. And Vertex is the area. That's why we bought Vertex, and we'll talk about it. The cooling system, I've been in these data centers, and it's the ventilation system is millions and millions of dollars. It either comes from the top or it comes up from the bottom. To cool these, I call them cubic data center things. So all these towers, I don't know how many millions of dollars these things cost, but they're a lot of money. It's interesting, the demand for optics and repeaters, to push the signals and stuff like that by Cisco was high, but Cisco's been flat. So if he's saying it's high, they're going to see a surge in demand, and guess who's going to benefit? It'll be Cisco. And again, a lot of people are taking the old computers, the slowest ones at the data centers, and upgrading them to the NVIDIA chips and getting a lot of performance out of them. So, of course, NVIDIA over $900 again. and flirting near its high. And a lot of people think, well, it's going to come back down again. It could. I mean, it's shot up parabolic, so that's not unusual. But earnings are coming up a couple more months, and then we'll see. And Vertex, I see them at the job sites with these data centers. They do a lot of cooling system. It's expensive. When I first thought of them, I call it Vertex. You notice that because there's a company called Vertiv, and they are working on the ability to cool these systems and keep them at the right temperature. And we added to the portfolio. What a nice chart! Look at that. That's a nice steady, slowward upward decline. And if they're using them at the NVDA and they're using them at Facebook and Microsoft, then pretty good company. Apple is getting investigated by a DOJ. Apple's share of smartphones 70%. That's not true. I get 58%. Anti-competitive product. That means you can't send a video via iCloud to your friends on Android, and makes the app developers pay 30%, which is high. But I saw the stock sell off 5% and 4.5%, 5%, and good time to try to buy Apple. Remember, the last quarter was good, but I mean, it's pretty far off its high. Now, will it hold this line? We're not coming in with full amount invested in Apple. We're going to ease in this a period of months. So, just buy a little every month, and if it gets to 150, which I hope it doesn't get, but we'll be there and we'll buy some, and then we'll see, because everybody wants to come out with the next generation AI smartphone, and a partnership between Apple and Google. I think Apple, if anybody's going to pull it off, it'll be the Google Pixel, the Samsung, or the Apple smartphone. And I think that'll be the change. Could you imagine everything that you do on your phone is going to be memorized, and it'll help you in a side, you can go over there and it'll say, hey, do you want to go to this place to eat today? Because, you haven't had it in a while. Bitcoin, wow, what a rocket. Up and down, 73,000, back down to 64,000. The Bitcoin miners, which we hold, they're like a roller coaster. You got to have indigestion, but, I always tell people, don't bet the high. We sold at 27,000, which sounds like, that's a horrible deal. But, when you were down over here at 20,000, 17,000, and then the market dropped right here, you got to take the money. I mean, you got to sit there and say, well, I'm not going to watch it go back all the way down. So, but Bitcoin defies a lot of the charts and stuff. So, where is it going to go? A lot of people are thinking 100,000 this year. Could it do it? Sure. Look at these drops. If you look at these drops, they last about a month and a half. So, we're in the first month. We got about maybe 3 more weeks of it. Then it should maybe get some legs again, right? We'll see. Chipotle, I just bring it up because this stock, is one of the highest stocks around. It's it's $2,800. So the average investor is like, oh my God, I can't afford to buy it. But if you got a IRA or something, hopefully you'll have more than $2,800. So you'll be able to put the money into something like this. But I'm reluctant to buy a high food stock because, like anything else, it's just the whim of the people. Chipotle is $15 a meal, and this is where people are going to say, that's an expensive lunch. I'll cut down in half maybe by doing something else. And this is where people are, if they're being pinched in the pocketbook, these $15 lunches and $30 dinners are going to start to have to take a hit. But 50-to-1 split, I have to remember, I can't remember 50-to-1 ever. That's a big split. So it won't change the market cap, but it'll make it easier for the average person to buy. And then Lululemon, one of my favorite stocks that I don't own because it's been up and up and up, came out with a big shock. Okay, the revenues, 15%. That's great. That's best of all the retailers, even Walmart, everybody. But what do? They're guiding below the first quarter for consensus. Revenue looks good. The consumer is being affected by the price and slowing down, more conservative spending. So we don't know where that was. Was it in January or February? But Lululemon's the momentum person, and that's going to affect a lot of stocks in retail. Is the consumer being pinched? Well, all signs say yes. Will it collapse? No. But you're going to start to see in the summer things starting to come down, from travel to expensive items to $30 meals, and you're going to see people be a little bit more conservative. So that favors like the dollar stores, Walmart for retail, which we own. But I always like remember, always look at what we do year to date, and we look at the three bright spots. Meta and NVDA we own. ARM, if it was in the S&P 500, would be another one. Lilly is the one we don't own, but we own Novo Nordisk, so that's just as good. And the other ones, look at Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, Exxon, JP Morgan, green, double-digit green, Merck's double-digit green. A lot of different sectors. I like this because we can see, other than the utilities and real estate, 9 sectors are pretty positive right now. Remember, we're going to have utilities and real estate. We're going to put up with their decline because we want to be balanced. And when they want to get hot, that's the time you never get into it. Again, the big dog is Tesla, 31% down this year. So, you don't want to be it. It's toxic. I think Elon Musk is getting too much X Twitter, not enough focus on Tesla, not enough promo for Tesla, and we'll see. But otherwise, let's have a good week. Stay warm, and hopefully everything will go good. Talk to you later.